lot to cover here in today's Lions Rumors video. There's some news in here, so we're going to get into the news first. So we're talking about Jared Goff. He is MVP of the Pro Bowl. Talk quickly about that. We have a former Detroit Lion now signing and going to Chicago with Ben Johnson. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about free agency, some players that some analysts think the Lions should look to acquire in free agency, as well as in a trade, because why is that? It's off-season news, and so, of course, trade rumors are flying around. We're going to get into these rumors, and again, folks, you're going to be hearing all this all off-season, and I'm going to continue, try to stay sane with these rumors. I think these rumors are ridiculous, but we got to talk about it. First news here, Maurice Alexander is going to Chicago, signing with the Chicago Bears. If you don't remember who he is a player who we've had in special teams for some time, and he actually played this year when we had Khalil Freeman, who was injured. Really good player, I feel like, in kick return, punt return. With that said, in the wide receiver room, he didn't produce anything for the Detroit Lions at that position, but he is a guy that is all about special teams, all about, making that mark and that third phase of the football game. So, look, I don't know what to really say about this. I think he was a fine player for the Lions. I think he's fine at kick return or punt return. I don't think it's a situation where we need to worry about this or even think too much hard about it. So I wish him the best in his endeavors right there. And also, Jared Goff, our Detroit Lions quarterback, he won the flag football tournament, and he is the NFC starting quarterback and immediately led the team to 3 scoring drives. Goff finished with 126 yards and 3 touchdowns. That was good enough for Jared Goff to come away at the event's offensive MVP as the NFC won 76-63. Goff also had precision passing event on Thursday. It was nice. Fun weekend for the Lions quarterback. That's what he did there. He was getting it done in the Pro Bowl. Jahmyr Gibbs did a great interception in the Pro Bowl. You can check it out on Detroit Lions on the YouTube channel right there. Brian Branch gets an interception as well. Lions offensive line helped lead the NFC to event wins. And Frank the Tank freaking can lift some stuff. Oh, and Jack Fox barely loses his event. So he was in there. He came close. Question for you. Are you tired of these rumors? Talk about trade rumors. Why for yes and for no? Give me your thoughts in the comments right now. Let's get into what Richard Silva thinks the Detroit Lions should do in free agency. So this is statistically worse for Cook's career, but there is some explanation for that. Cook's 5'10", 189, missed 7 games with an injury, and his starting quarterback, Dak Prescott, was out of the season by the time he returned. Cooks posted 550 yards in each of his previous 10 seasons prior to 2024, and he was a 1,000-yard receiver recently as 2021. His days elite play is behind him, but he's been consistent, reliable receiver across the stints of 5 different teams, and added bonus. Lions offensive coordinator John Morton was Cook's receivers coach with the Saints in 15 through 16, so he want the Detroit Lions to sign Brandon Cooks. Again, this is what he did last year, 26 receptions, 259 yards, 3 touchdowns, an average of 10. Brandon Cooks right now, obviously, he's older, folks. He's 31 years old. He was drafted back in 2014 in round 1. Now, here's the deal when it comes to some of these players, especially the wide receiver position. Why do we need to sign Brandon Cooks? You just get Tim Patrick. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Khalil Freeman, Jameson Williams. They're under contract, right? We got some of these players under contract, but we need Tim Patrick under contract. Could the Lions look to pick up a Brandon Cooks? Yeah, I guess they could. He's a small guy, right? He can go out there and make some noise. But I think it makes more logical sense, if you ask me, if it was Tim Patrick who the Lions look to bring back. But if they're looking maybe for a guy to compete to make the 53, Brandon Cooks, why not give it a try? With that said, I don't know. I don't think it's really going to be a big deal if the Lions were to make this move. I don't think it would be a great move. I don't think it would be a bad move. It's an move. Still, Tim Patrick is what I want the Lions to do in free agency for that wide receiver position. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time, the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets to sport events, concerts, comedy shows, or whatever. Their lowest price is guaranteed. That's the Game Time guaranteed. The 76ers is going to Detroit to face the Pistons this week. And if you want to get tickets, a friend from Game Time is a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. And what it does, it filters out all the fluff to give the best deals and tickets so you're not spending hours looking through different ticketing sites trying to get the best deals. And how do you get this? Well, when you go into Game Time, select the venue you want to go to, and it's going to be in a 3D view. Select the Game Time Picks button on top of the screen, and it automatically does the research for you, and it filters out the tickets in the database to give you the best deals and seats, so you're not spending hours on a bunch of different ticketing sites trying to find the best deals. You can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, baseball, basketball, concerts, and more. And the middle screenshot, by the way, I think it's a fantastic feature of the app. It shows you where your seat is, and move phone left to right. You can see the surrounding area kind of like a 3D live photo. Also, all pricing is right there for you. There's no hidden fees at checkout, so take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. If you're new to Game Time, you plug in Chat Sports, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. And how do you do that? You go to the redeem code section, you plug in Chat Sports, you get $20 off your first purchase. Terms would apply. Got to create account, got an email to save that money. The link is going to be in the comment section and description of this video. So if you're buying Pistons tickets this year, make sure using Game Time. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets and lowest prices guaranteed. Do you want the Lions to be active in free agency? Why for really active? Why for yes and for no? Next player for the rumors list here, and this rumor is going to continue to go on because articles are getting around. Article came out today. The Detroit Lions should make a move to get Trey Hendrickson, pass rusher, from the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, let's get into what Gary Davenport said. It's not just a matter of a Detroit pass rush that all but evaporated when Aiden Hutchinson got hurt last year. It's a matter of where the Lions are as a franchise. They're going to make their first ever Super Bowl. The time is now. Hendrickson and Hutchinson would be a phenomenal duo on the edge. The Lions have salary cap space to make an extension for Hendrickson. Wirch, put your chips in the middle of the table. Lions, go get a player you extended for the Bengals. What did Hendrickson do this year? Well, he was phenomenal, right? 33 solo tackles, 17 and a half sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 0 interceptions. Hendrickson was a stud and a certified G. Why aren't I excited when I'm talking about all this? Folks, the Lions tried to make a move during the trade deadline last year. Brad Holmes said teams weren't allowed to do it. Trey Hendrickson has been on one of those names that were talked about endlessly. If it would have happened, it would have happened already. It's not happening. He is a franchise-type player. The Cincinnati Bengals are probably going to do, keep him a Bengal till he is dead, right? He is an elite pass rusher. And so I don't buy any of these rumors about the Lions trading for Trey Hendrickson. I don't buy it. And It's for me, it gets tiring to make these videos because every single day there's rumor videos coming out. And I think we've talked about Trey Hendrickson, endlessly last year before the trade deadline. I think we all got tired of it. And that is a situation that we're going to be coming into again right now, is you're going to have trade candidates you're going to be hearing about why it's the offseason, and you're going to hear the biggest names in the world get traded to the Detroit Lions. Trey Hendrickson, I'm sure you're going to hear about Max Crosby 50 million more times. You're going to hear about other players, but do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't. I give it a 0.0000001% chance of occurring because why? When you got the NFL draft coming up. But let's get into another trade rumor from Marissa Myers. This Kupp, talk about Cooper Kupp. Kupp will turn 32 in June, coming off another injury-filled season with it racked up 59.2 receiving yards per game, his lowest average since 2017, for a total of 710 yards, which is the contract of Kupp. It will be difficult for a team to trade for him, but if he's released, one team that makes sense for him, that is the Detroit Lions. First off, we're not going to be trading for Cooper Kupp, right? That's not going to happen. If he's released, I don't know. We'll see. I think the other teams would 100% be involved here. But here's what Cooper Kupp's numbers are this past year: 67 receptions, 710 yards, 6 touchdowns, 10.6 average. He did pretty good, if you ask me. He did pretty good for a wide receiver, not for him statistically, right? But I mean, it's not like he is completely gone at that position right there. So, question for you: would you trade, or in this case, sign for a Cooper Kupp? T for trade, P for pass, S for sign. I didn't even put that one on there because why? Here is the thing when it comes to this. Why I'm not spending a lot of time on this. Do you see the Detroit Lions making a trade? No. Why would they trade for Cooper Kupp? So if he gets released, would the Lions look to push him? Well, we are familiar with him, but with that said, we already got wide receivers here. That's a number 2 and a number 3. Jamison Williams is a number 2, okay, or a number 1. St. Brown's a number 1, number 2. What do you want to call it? We got Tim Patrick. That's a free agent. Why would you go older in somebody that's injured all the time when you have a Tim Patrick that's younger and he was healthy this whole year? Yeah, he was injured in Denver. Okay, but he's younger and he's filling the role perfectly fine. Just because he was a name before doesn't mean he's going to be a name this year. And to be quite honest with you, if Cooper Kupp was to be released from the Rams, I have a feeling there'd be other teams that would be involved that don't have depth at wide receiver that are looking to get better at that position. Maybe the Carolina Panthers. They got all sorts of issues over there. There's other teams. I just don't think that the Lions make a lot of sense considering the fact that we're pretty decent there. And to add a bigger contract to this team when you really don't necessarily need it, when you get a Tim Patrick for much cheaper and I feel like he'll produce better, does that sound like a Brad Holmes move to you? Now, unless he came cheap, hey, like we're all about the cheap stuff over here. I just don't see that being a realistic possibility. I don't. I see more of him going to a team, if he was released, that he could probably get more money out of the team and all of that lovely stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts about all these rumors. With that said, adios.